Hello everybody, and welcome to Power of Stories Live. We're super excited to have the opportunity while we're here in the Dominican Republic to have some of our valued travelers, our guests, our diamonds who've qualified for this trip, some over a number of years, to share their story, their personal stories with us, both of their own background, their personal story, but also their story about how they came to be at Life Plus and what Life Plus means to them, and perhaps some handy hints and tips of how to make the most of the Life Plus opportunity. So, and we have a live studio audience as well. So a big round of applause to yourself and welcome to this. I have promised to keep this event to around 45 minutes so that we can get out and enjoy the sunshine and the weather, but I do appreciate you giving up your time to be here this afternoon. So let's crack on. So please welcome our first guest is Toni Leopold. Toni, welcome. Please have a seat. Welcome to the hot seat. Now, most people here know who you are, but for anybody who's watching, can you please give us an introduction? Tell us about yourself and what is your profession?
Well, my name is Toni Leypoldt, and I'm 48 years old, and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist.
Great. Well, it's good to have you here, and I know that your journey in that space, hair and makeup. How did you come to be a hair and makeup artist? What took you in that direction?
Well, I kind of call it. It felt like a call doing that. When I grew up, I can remember being 7 years old or 9 years old. I don't know exactly. My mum's a singer, and I always watched her in our small bathroom getting prepared for the stage. Yeah. And she didn't just cover herself up. She brought something out of her. One moment she was my mother, and the next moment she was a queen.
Right.
And that created such an urge, or such a like a feeling in my heart.
An emotion, I guess.
An emotion. Everything is open. The world is open. You can be whoever you want. Yeah. And that never let me go.
Right.
So
it's the transformation that you saw your mother go through, and that inspired you to do the same sort of thing, I guess?
Yes, but I needed quite a time to follow my dreams, or to have the courage to do that. Yeah. And after a personal, I was ill when I was 22 years old. Yeah. And that kind of sent me off on another way, following my dreams, really asking myself what do I want to do with my life. Right. And that sent me off to Munich with a suitcase, and following the dream of becoming a makeup artist in the TV and film industry. Cool. And I never came back home. Right.
And you did. You worked in TV and you worked in film as well, and you worked on a TV series and with movie stars.
Actually, I even worked in front of the camera. I just went along with it. We produced 5 episodes of Villa Gloss. Mm-hmm. That was my personal project. Okay. For a big German TV company, and I just went along with it and saw it as an adventure. And so I should be used to this, but you probably never get used to it. Yeah.
Well, you seem used to it at the moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You make it very easy.
Well, I do my best. Yeah. No, it's a pleasure to have you here and to try and explore that whole thing. So Villa Gloss, and you worked in other films and TV shows, and then that led to a particular project I know you got involved with.
I was working in the industry for 20 years, and I started my self-employment after that, and I got involved in a very interesting project where I had the honor to accompany elderly people living in old people's homes, mm-hmm. to transform into the roles of icons, film icons of their past, like Marilyn Monroe or Charlie Chaplin.
Wow.
And that was a very, very touching project. And it somehow, you saw it on at the end in the results.
Yeah.
So
that must have been amazing for those people who you transformed. I mean, you go back to talking about your mother as a singer and how she transformed from mum to singer, to see for an old person in a care home to be transformed into Marilyn Monroe or
I know
Charlie Chaplin.
It really was. It moved people, and it moved myself, and I was very grateful to have the chance to do that. And
some of that went pretty crazy, didn't it? When you did some of the publicity
there was a lot of interest. And one afternoon my phone rang and Gabi Steiner was on the phone. That changed everything.
Right. So how did it change? What did Gabi want? I mean, because you had the press calling, you had TV shows calling, and then the one you remember, of course, is Gabi Steiner.
I sort of knew that my life was heading in a certain direction and something started to change, and I thought I'll just go along with it. And that was the time when Gabi rang, and of course I didn't know her. And she said, well, I'm very moved by what you were doing, and I want you to come to Mallorca. I live in Mallorca. I want you to do my makeup, and I want my husband, who owns a pretty good camera, do some photos.
Right.
And that was strange. Of course, I had no idea who she was. So I politely said no. I said, I will think about it and all that. And 7 days later, she rang up again and she asked, well, have you thought about it? So
she can be persistent, can Gabi?
Yeah. And it was a great conversation that started from there, because she said, I have promoted you. There are gatherings on the island, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that would like to sit on your chair. How many appointments do you need so that you want to come? And that was, we made a deal, more or less, and I ended up in Mallorca and met great people. Right. Really.
Are there some people here whose faces you have decorated?
Yes.
Is that the right word? I'm sorry, I've made up.
Don't say it exactly like that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a technical term, excuse me.
No, yes, I can remember. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I remember what the people were wearing, and it's...
Right. So then that was an active week or some activity on Mallorca, and you were there as a guest, as a specialist makeup artist, providing something for them to enjoy. And then it led to more, I think. Is that right?
It led to talks,
Clearly.
Yes. But I must say, I was very intrigued by the sort of lifestyle I was able to witness, and, compared with the values and the laughter, the smiles, and all this collaboration and support, it was a completely new world for me. Right. And of course, they owned a lifestyle that I was not able to achieve. I wanted to achieve that. My goal was to be successful, to make a career, and earn, of course, a lot of money so that I can have more freedom in life to do what I want to do. And
now, a lot of those people in the active week, though, were visiting Mallorca as part of the active week and the like. So, it's an opportunity to earn some additional income for people, but it piqued your interest. Gabi piqued your interest because of the income opportunity and the products, I understand.
Yes, and definitely because they were living the life. I mean, I could see it. It was right in front of me, and I never, you don't know if you don't know something.
Right.
You find, maybe you are lucky to find out that you don't know, or you haven't, you lack some information. But that was certainly like a floating mountain in the air, and I kind of figured out, how can I integrate that in my life? Right. And one important aspect was, I don't like the term normal people, because nobody knows what is normal, but I want to stick to that. I mean, it was totally normal, down-to-earth people that lived an extraordinary life.
Right.
And I had a 5-digit income.
Right, at that time, right.
So that is quite a number. And I had to realize there are things in this world that I obviously don't know yet.
I also think with Life Plus people, there is generally, you touched on it there, that people have an openness, and this Gemeinschaft is the German, with this sense of friendliness or community that is something different to normal people.
Of course. I mean, if you are used to working in a highly competitive surrounding, then of course this you're not used to this kind of support, and I was able to talk with a lot of people because they're all sitting on my chair for hours. So I was able to listen to their stories, and and I was just fascinated. It was pure fascination. And I'm very, very grateful that I had this opportunity to get to know this whole thing, concept, this lifestyle concept, by meeting these fantastic people.
Great. And you've been able to pass it on and share it with lots of other people as well.
Well, I started with the products, I must admit, because I had, I was fully booked. My friends, if they, called me and said, "Oh, we're having a barbecue, you want to come along?" I said, "Well, maybe in 2 months' time."
Right.
And I was fully booked, and so I was absolutely convinced by the quality and also the importance of what Life Plus does. Right. And so I started with the products to be able to work more,
support your wellness and energy.
Yeah, exactly.
It is an holistic approach to life, isn't it? Life Plus. That's whether it's the products, whether it's a community, whether it's a concept, low-risk concept to earn additional money. What would be your biggest tip to somebody starting with Life Plus? What would be if somebody's looking at Life Plus from the out, like you did when you were in Mallorca, and you're fortunate to connect with all those people who were visiting the island at the time, and you were attracted to it. If somebody's watching this now thinking, is it for me, isn't it for me? What would be your advice to that person?
Give yourself the benefits of being curious. Don't close yourself to things or ways of life that you probably not know yet. Don't let this voice on your shoulder, chit-chat all the time. Right. Oh, it's all the same, Right. Just stop that. Have a look at things and then decide afterwards if it's interesting for you or not. There's nothing can happen, just dive into it. I mean, that's probably one of the most the things that came to mind.
Right. Yeah. Trust your instincts. Don't overthink it. Give it a go.
Of course.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Tony. Great job. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tony. And our next guest is Akim Fagin. I've been practicing that. Thank you very much. And welcome. And I really do appreciate all of our guests joining us this afternoon. And Akim and I remember first talking to you about your background and your experience and your profession 12 months ago at the golf course just before we teed off, and we got talking about a particular subject that was going on in the world at that time, and you spoke with such authority about the subject that it really took me back.
Okay.
And I'm actually absolutely delighted to have you here today. So rather than me explaining your profession, I'd love you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past professionally.
Yeah, thank you, Malcolm. I remember that when we were sitting there on the golf course and talking about an hour until we had our tea time. That was a very interesting talk we had, yeah. Yeah, my name is Joachim Vergin. I'm 67, so I started my profession as an Air Force officer when Tony was not even born or just about to be born. So the reason for that was my grandfather and even my father. My father was 16 when he became a soldier in Second World War, was heavily wounded at the end. And my grandfather, he was 6 years soldier, and they talked about all this really bad time. And I wanted to do something to help our country not to get in that situation again. Right. And if that's a chance for me in a cockpit of a fighter aircraft, that would be great. I had no clue about flying whatsoever, nothing. And I thought when I asked for joining the Air Force in Cologne, and they asked me, Herr Vergin, what kind of flying experience do you have? Then I need to have something to tell them, because I haven't had any, but one newspaper in Hanover, they offered at that time a voucher for 78 marks to fly with a Boeing 727, a circle around Lower Saxony and Hamburg. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy that. I invest that money in my future. And lucky-wise, I had a place on the window. And I said, oh, that's nice here. I don't get airsick. Good to go. So I had my testing in Cologne, but they didn't ask the question why I've ever sit in an aircraft or any flying experience. No matter what, that was good invested money. So I joined the Air Force in '78, was on university in Munich, studied aeronautical engineering, and then Christina and we were, my wife, 2 years in Texas doing all this flying.
And you were flying Phantom jets, is that right? So right. You went from buying a voucher for 78
marks.
78
German,
marks. Yeah. To flying Phantom jets some years later. So
right.
That's awesome.
So I was flying reconnaissance Phantoms. We had no weapons, but lots of cameras. We could make pictures during day and night, bad weather. And so once in a while, that was for me very nice to get a job, which is very important when the police was in our base and asking, can you help us out? Because, and I remember one situation when there was a gang that had stolen lots of motorcycles. And the police said there's a farmhouse somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and we think they collect all these motorcycles there, but we cannot go there, not with a police car, not with a helicopter. Can you help us?
Because they'd hear them coming or something.
Sure,
Single track up a road.
Yeah.
Right.
They would see it.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was always jet flying in Germany. Most of you might remember that about every 15 seconds, 20 minutes, there was a jet buzzing by. So I planned my track, said, okay, there's road, there's a farmhouse, and the barn, that's a map that you would use when you go hiking somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so I planned the track, and we looked into the barn with the camera, and you could see all these motorcycles standing there. And that was really great, because at that day, this gang was history. It was never in the newspaper. Maybe I shouldn't say that even, but it's decades ago. And today,
so you flew in high speed, low level, or were you low or were you high up?
No, low level.
Low level.
150 meters was the standard height at that time.
Right.
And it not that fast.
150 meters above the ground. Wow.
Yeah, not that fast, only about 800 kilometers.
Right. And they didn't hear you coming. Well, they probably did, but they wouldn't have had a chance to react, right?
Well, I had an instructor pilot in Texas, and he asked me once when we were flying with 420 knots, which is a normal cruising speed, about 800 kilometers an hour. Oh. And he said, when you fly there, there's a herd of cattle. Fly above these cattle. And I did. So what did you see? They were just running away that I could see that they were started running. Okay, next, push up to 480 knots, which is about 900 kilometers. Next cattle herd, go over. What did you see? What did the cattle do? Nothing. You see? And that's why we fly a little bit faster. So they don't hear us. They might see us, but they hear us when we pass by. And the bullet cannot get us.
Right.
So that's the same with the...
You have cows with bullets in Germany? No, but you were through and past the barn before they could hear you. That's remarkable.
Yeah. And they wouldn't pay attention to it.
And they used your evidence to convict the gang of thieving motorcycles. That's great. That's awesome. Well, big round of applause for Akim on that one. love that. So from busting motorcycle thieves and flying phantom jets and flying and scaring cows by the sounds of it, to joining Life. How did you join Life Plus? How come you want to be here now?
I did join Life Plus. My wife did.
Right.
I need to say, our daughter Julia met Wolfgang. He's sitting in the first row. His daughter Julia on the campus university in Bonn. They were talking about the mothers and thought, they have about the same way of doing the kitchen work and doing some sports, and they should meet. Okay, so Julia and Elke came to us to our home, and Elke said, if you like to start with Life Plus, that's a good idea. We have a seminar in Ettlingen, close to Karlsruhe, in November, and if you like, you could join us and see what it's all about. I said, okay, when Christine said, I want to go there, I said, okay, I drive you down, because when she's in a seminar and takes lots of inputs, it's better I drive back home instead of her, because she might not concentrate on the traffic. Said, okay, I'll drive you down and wait outside, have a coffee. And then she said, well, it's 2 days. I said, well, 2 days, that's a lot of coffee. So I decided to join the seminar as well.
She's a smart woman, Christine, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. And so I met lots of nice people. And on the evening, Saturday evening is always a party.
Right.
I told to Isolde, she led together with Ottmar the whole seminar. I said to her, Isolde, these people really are something that I've never met before. That people giving others the strength to reach their goals they want to reach, and they give them all the energy they need to get their goals. In my company, and lots of civilian companies as well, you are not working together, but rather against each other when it's about getting in a higher level in the hierarchy. And that's not the case here. Right. So I decided that evening, I told Isolde, on Monday, I call the Office of Personnel Affairs to get an appointment to leave the Air Force. So I did. On Monday, I called the Office of Personnel Affairs. On Tuesday, I had an appointment. On Wednesday, I gave my papers signed to my general. Said, General, that's it.
There has to be something more to that, though, rather than just the weekend with Isolde and you quit flying phantom jets on the back of that seminar.
No, actually, at that time, I was, how old was I? 53 at that time, or 55. 55 I was. I need to admit, on 2010, I had an almost deadly heart attack. I was flying Phantoms or Tornadoes at that time, 6 months earlier still. I was 52 years old. Normally you stop flying with 41, but I was very healthy, and the doctor said to me prior to the heart attack, Colonel, you are as fit as a 20-year-old guy. Well, internally, I would say. And then I had this heart attack, and I knew I have to change something in my life. Because if you got something that you don't want to have again, like a heart attack, you have to change something in life. Right. And when we then, 2 years later, met Life Plus and the whole idea, I thought, okay, that's the reason why I had the heart attack. That's my ticket to leave the Air Force. Without the heart attack, they would never let me out without normal retiring age. Okay. And so they let me out about 7 years earlier. And that's really 7 years of life that I had together with Christine, with our kids, with our grandkid, and with the Life Plus community.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent. Yeah. No, good to hear. So it was following that you and Christine were part of joined Life Plus at that time, is that right? And how long ago was that, sorry?
12 years now.
12 years ago.
In December it was 12 years.
So again, you've been able to share that concept, that holistic approach to life with many other people, and we find ourselves here sitting at the Diamond event in Dominican Republic. Great. So what would be the piece of advice, the golden nugget? I know there's no silver bullet, there's no magic answer to anybody, but what was the best piece of advice you would be able to give somebody?
It's a bigger piece. You know, we heard a few days ago about the wheel of life. There's different sections where you think about your partnership, your friends, your profession, your health, your financial situation, some others. And if you talk with people about this wheel of life, which should roll in a normal way, and ask them how many percentage of these different sections in the wheel are filled? Is it 100% or is only 50? Is it a real round wheel, or are there some interruptions because of the shorter sections in it? And then I would tell them, Life Plus has for each of these sections a solution to bring it to 100%. Right. And if they listen to it, fine. If not, I can't help it. Then they have to stumble through their life.
Yeah, terrific, great. It's really interesting how this similarly to Tony, you know, it was the Gemeinschaft or the community that attracted you to Life Plus, and the same for Tony as well. Yeah. So that's great. Listen, thank you very much for sharing your story. I was fascinated 12 months ago when we talked about it prior to a round of golf. I'm fascinated by it again today. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Great. I'm only guessing, but I bet you're a fast driver. When you drove down to Ettlingen as well, I bet you drive faster than Christine does.
Maybe a little bit, but I'm not a fast driver. You know?
Okay.
I have enough speed in my life.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Scared enough cows too. Okay, we're going to get our third and final guest for the afternoon out. So please welcome Bettina Tecklenburg. Welcome, Bettina. Thank you very much. Bettina and I have known each other for quite some time, and I had the pleasure of having dinner with Bettina and Elke and a couple of other people following the kickoff earlier this year in Fellbach, and I learned a few things about Bettina that I wasn't aware of prior to that, and I think her story is particularly interesting. So I'm really pleased to have the opportunity for her to share it with all of us today, and whoever ends up watching this today. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background and your profession, and your history, your backstory.
My history, yes. So as you both told something about your age, I am 59 years old. My name is Bettina Tecklenburg. And yes, I've been 20 years of my life with a large company for branded consumer goods, and I was marketing manager for several chocolate products, and finally, just before my parental leave, I was responsible for the famous smiling purple bunny, if you know, yeah, and other seasonal products as Easter products, Santa Claus, and other Christmas products, and so on. Yes, and my life, took place in the company.
Right.
So that was okay for me because I didn't know anything else. I know from my father that you have to work a lot to earn a lot of money. So for me it was okay and it was normal. Yeah? Right. So I was in parental leave, yes, and with our first son. And then I recognized that my whole life, was totally different from that what I wanted when I was a child. As a child, I wanted to be a millionaire. And I wanted to have a lot of time to explore the world, to travel a lot, to, explore South Africa, South America, whatever. And now I recognized that, okay, with the money, that was okay, not a millionaire, but okay. But time, I had no time. To be honest, in the company, I had no time for private things. And so I said, what can I do to not to go back into that hamster wheel? And I was open. I had the time to think about my life, and that was the first time after approximately, after 16 years at that moment, to think about my life. And if you are open for some things happen that you never thought about.
Right.
So I got to know a direct selling company because a friend of mine was, I don't know how to say, was a independent
Distributor. Right.
yes, in that company. And so I joined it myself. But again, I recognized that was not what I wanted to have, what I wanted to be, because I again changed money to time.
Right. So again,
money for time.
You started off being like many people are, an employee of a company and doing a job and getting paid a salary, and then you took some maternity leave and had chance to reassess things, and then it was easier to see how you could buy stuff and resell it and make some money. Was that fair to say with a direct selling company?
Yes, that's it. And you earn a lot of money if you sell products.
If you sell lots of product, right?
But that wasn't mine because I have to invest time again.
Right.
And I want to have time.
And you have to invest money in buying the stuff, I guess, do you, in the first place? Right?
Yeah. But the advantage was that I got to know a woman who told me about Life Plus. We became friends, and she told me about Life Plus, and said, okay, I recognized then that I can combine time and earning money.
Right.
And I realized that Life Plus has some really good advantages. For example, you can eat the products, you can eat your self-employment, and you have no risk. You have, I don't have so many products at home.
Right.
Yeah? And there are so many advantages
There's no
compared to the
buying of
direct selling. Yes.
Yeah, no buying of stuff to resell.
For example, and products are empty after one month. Yeah.
Right.
And that's a really important fact for recurring income, for sure.
Absolutely. So how long ago did you join Life Plus?
Today?
When was it? Yeah.
I joined Life Plus in August 2005.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And
yeah.
here we are 20 years later.
Yeah.
And we've just had some series of meetings where we're focusing on the long-term future from now as well, right? Would you like to talk about your future visions and your
My future
ambition?
visions from now?
Yeah,
Or from...
sure. Yeah, from now. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Let's go off script a little bit. See what happens.
Okay. Good. My future vision is to help very, very many people to realize to reach their objectives, to have a better life if they want to change their life, to have a better life than today, and really to recognize that Life Plus, there are so many chances for you if you trust in the process and if you trust in the company of Life Plus, because it's the combination of time, of money, and of, as we see here, many lovely people, friendship, and those are really such important things.
And like we heard already, that it's helping each other to be successful. There's no competition, is there? It's
yes. So if you are, I've been 20 years in that marketing, in that branded consumer goods company, and there it's really with elbows, and people are waiting that you are making some mistakes because they say, okay, you are wrong. Yeah? And here, maybe people are waiting that we make a mistake, but to say, you don't have to be perfect to be successful.
Correct.
And that's really a very good difference.
And here we learn from our mistakes, right? And then we help each other. So it's interesting how you had 20 years in your employment, and then you have an employment contract, and that you have a term at the end that you give your notice, and you've been 20 years at Life Plus.
Yes.
Life Plus has been around for 33 years currently, and we're very much looking at building on that rich history and heritage to make sure that we're around for another 20 years or more. And I think that's very important to people you're bringing into Life Plus now, right?
Yes, for sure, because it's important that you have a future perspective.
Right.
For yourself, but also for your children, for your family,
Right.
whatever. And today it's a bit of safety you can have if you join such a good company as Life Plus is.
But it starts with buying some products which are supporting your wellness, or a broad range of consumable universal products. And then it's an opportunity to earn some extra money. It's not instantly to earn a lot of money, is it? It takes time and process.
Yes, it is. But I started with this company to earn a lot of money,
Right,
to
right.
be honest. For me, to be honest, the products weren't very important.
Right.
I saw the products as the Treibstoff, I don't know.
There's a subscription maybe, or
The fuel maybe
Fuel, thank
for
you.
running the vehicle to reach my objectives
Right.
and to become successful. Because nevertheless, you have to buy the products.
Right.
There's no chance without buying the products to be
Right.
successful. So,
Right.
Huh?
But we have products for everybody as well, whether it's shampoo and soon to be
Yes.
pet products.
and very important as well is that you buy the products for your own need
Right.
and
yeah,
not for selling.
Not for reselling, right.
And my favorite products are the sports products.
Right.
So I was very happy when you launched the sports products.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I took the basic products for sure, yes. But in addition, the sports products are very important for me and for our whole family. So that's my favorite.
You have a background in sport as well, don't you? You're a keen sport. You're a golfer as well.
Yes, I do nearly everything with the ball.
Right.
So I played tennis for a long time, squash, golf, a little bit of football, and yes, I like it.
And your sons play. One of them
Hockey.
plays hockey
They
for,
are field hockey, yes. No ice hockey, but field hockey, yeah.
and he plays to a good standard, doesn't he?
Yes, the younger one is in the national team for the 21-year-old and younger.
Wow.
And the older one is good as well, very good. And yes, both are playing in a team, and and they both like to be a team member.
Right. And your husband's a golfer?
Yes, it is.
He couldn't make it this trip, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
I'm looking
that's
forward to
another
playing with
story,
him.
yes.
So about 6'5" or something, isn't he?
Yes,
I
somehow
imagine he
like
hits
that.
the ball a long way.
30 centimeter
Right. Yeah.
more than much.
So, what would your nugget of information? What would be a piece of advice for somebody looking at Life Plus as an opportunity to earn an additional income, or as an opportunity for them?
I think it's very important to trust in the process, to trust in the people who talk about or who give you the chance to join Life Plus, and look at the people who are successful, and copy the things they do to become as successful as they are. That's important, I think.
And there are a number of advantages to Life Plus that we often take for granted, whether it's the quality of the products, that we make them ourselves in Batesville, Arkansas. Not many companies make their own products, that the income opportunity is low risk. As you say, you have to buy around €100 worth of product each month, but it's for your own consumption and buy that of your family. There's even a 30-day money-back guarantee, right?
Yes, yes, for sure.
So there's almost nothing to lose other than a little bit of time, which you say is so precious.
Yes, I think it's a proof of the quality of the products that Life Plus can say you have a 30-day money back
Right. Guarantee.
guarantee.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And we have such a low level of returns as well. So, listen, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to share with us before I let you go?
No.
Great. Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Big thank you to
Thank you
Bettina
much.
Tecklenburg. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it very much indeed. Great. Well, listen, that concludes our interview session for this afternoon of 3 amazing guests. Please put your hands together again one more time for Toni, Akim and Bettina. Thank you very much indeed. Stand up, stand up, stand up, Toni.